Imagine being born free, only to be captured and enslaved in a foreign land. This was the harsh reality for Yanga, a man of unmatched bravery and resilience. Born into the free lands of West Africa, Yanga's early life was shaped by the rich cultures of what is believed to be modern-day Gabon or Nigeria. His world, however, was violently uprooted in the late 16th century when Spanish conquistadors snatched him away from his homeland. Shackled and dehumanized, Yanga was thrust into a life he did not choose, a life of enslavement. His captors brought him across the vast Atlantic Ocean to Mexico, specifically to the bustling hub of Veracruz. This region was a significant cog in the brutal machinery of the transatlantic slave trade, where countless lives were bought and sold like mere commodities. In the heart of Veracruz, Yanga was stripped of his freedom, his dignity, and his identity. He was forced to toil under the cruel Mexican sun, his sweat and blood seeping into the very soil he was made to cultivate. His captors might have broken his body, but they could not break his spirit. He was a man born free, and he yearned for that freedom with every fiber of his being. Yanga's story, however, is not one of unending despair. It's not a tale of a man crushed under the weight of his chains. It's a story that echoes with the fierce determination of a man who refused to let his spirit be shackled. His life in servitude was harsh and unforgiving, but Yanga was not a man to accept his fate lying down. His spirit yearned for the freedom that was once his, a freedom he was determined to reclaim. And so, under the cover of darkness, Yanga made his daring escape. In the face of immense adversity, Yanga chose to be unyielding. He chose to resist. His is a story of undying resilience, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity in the face of oppression. But Yanga was not one to accept his fate. His spirit yearned for freedom, and so he escaped. Escaping slavery was only the beginning for Yanga. His next step? Creating a safe haven for others like him. Fleeing the clutches of his captors, Yanga found sanctuary in the mountainous regions of Veracruz, known as the Cofre de Perote. This rugged terrain, with its dense forests and hidden valleys, offered the perfect environment for Yanga and his fellow escapees to evade capture. But Yanga had a vision that extended far beyond mere survival. He envisioned a community, a haven, where those who had slipped the bonds of slavery could live in freedom. In the early 1600s, this vision came to life. Yanga, along with other escaped slaves, founded the Palenque de San Lorenzo de los Negros, or simply Palenque de San Lorenzo. The term Palenque referred to a settlement of escaped slaves known as Maroons, who lived independently from colonial authorities. The Palenque de San Lorenzo epitomized this definition, providing a refuge for those who sought freedom from the oppressive chains of slavery. As word of this sanctuary spread, more and more individuals, desperate for freedom, risked everything to escape their captors and join the fledgling community. The population of Palenque de San Lorenzo swelled, and what started as a small group of courageous escapees evolved into a thriving Maroon community. Every day, the community's growth stood as a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who refused to accept the life of enslavement they had been forced into. Each new member of the community was another victory, another defiance of the oppressive colonial system. But Yanga and his people knew that their newfound freedom came with a price. The Spanish colonizers, ever eager to maintain their grip on their slave workforce, would not let the Palenque de San Lorenzo exist unchallenged. The community braced itself for the inevitable confrontation, ready to defend their hard-won freedom with everything they had. But living freely was not without its challenges, as the Spanish sought to reclaim what they believed was theirs. The Spanish forces were relentless, but so were Yanga and his comrades. These were men and women who had tasted the bitter dregs of bondage and had no intention of ever returning to that dire state. They had built a life for themselves in the mountains of Veracruz, in a community that came to be known as Palenque de San Lorenzo. This was their sanctuary, their fortress, and they would defend it tooth and nail against any who dared to threaten it. The Spanish forces were a formidable foe, armed with the latest weaponry and tactics of the time. But what they had in brute force, Yanga and his comrades more than made up for with their intimate knowledge of the terrain and their unyielding determination. They knew every nook and cranny of their mountainous home, using it to their advantage to stage ambushes and launch surprise attacks. This was guerrilla warfare at its finest, a strategic cat-and-mouse game that kept the Spanish forces on their toes. But this wasn't just a physical battle, it was a mental one as well. The Maroons were not just fighting for their lives, they were fighting for their freedom, for their right to live as free men and women. Every attack, every resistance, every victory against the Spanish forces was a testament to their resilience, a testament to their unwavering determination to defend their community. Despite numerous Spanish military expeditions sent to quell them, Yanga and his followers stood their ground, successfully defending their freedom and autonomy. Each failed attempt by the Spanish forces only served to strengthen their resolve, to fan the flames of their resistance. It was a battle of wills, a battle of endurance, a battle for freedom. And in the end, it was Yanga and his comrades who emerged victorious. Their spirit, their courage, their resilience had proven too much for the Spanish forces to overcome. The Spanish had underestimated Yanga and his followers. It was time for negotiation. In the face of unwavering resilience, the Spanish had no choice but to recognize the Maroons' freedom. With Yanga and his community persistently defending their land and liberty, Spanish authorities were pushed into a corner. Their military expeditions had been unsuccessful, and they faced an opponent who was not only unyielding, but also astutely strategic. The Maroons' knowledge of the terrain and their guerrilla warfare tactics thwarted every Spanish attempt to recapture or annihilate their community. The Spanish had to reassess their approach. They realized that they were dealing with a formidable force, a community that had not only survived but thrived against all odds. They had to reconsider their strategies, and they decided to negotiate. Negotiations were held in 1609, culminating in the signing of what is known today as the Treaty of Cordoba. This treaty was a beacon of hope, a testament to the Maroons' strength and resilience. It marked a significant shift in the dynamics between the Spanish authorities and the Maroons. The Treaty of Cordoba was a historic achievement. It granted freedom to the Maroons, and it went a step further. It officially recognized Palenque de San Lorenzo as a free community. This was not just a victory for Yanga and his people, but it was also a precedent, a beacon of hope for other Maroon communities. This recognition was not just about freedom from physical bondage. It was an affirmation of the Maroons' right to self-determination, to exist as a community free from external control. It was a victory against colonial oppression, a triumph of the human spirit. The Treaty of Cordoba was not just a document, it was a symbol of resistance, a testament to the unyielding spirit of the Maroons. It was a promise of freedom, an assurance of a life of dignity and respect. It was a beacon of hope, a light at the end of a long and arduous journey. Yanga had achieved what seemed impossible. He had secured freedom for his people. Yanga's story did not end with his death. His legacy of resistance and freedom continues to inspire today. When we reach back into the annals of history, we find that Yanga's story has grown to be much more than a tale of one man's courage. It's a narrative of defiance against the oppressive chains of slavery, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who yearned for freedom. Yanga's legacy is particularly cherished in Mexico, where he is hailed as a symbol of resistance and liberty. His story is woven into the country's cultural fabric, celebrated with fervor and respect. In the state of Veracruz, where his journey to freedom began, tributes to his memory are plentiful. Monuments rise in honor of his bravery, festivals echo with the rhythms of his struggle, and cultural events are imbued with his spirit of resilience. The community he established, the Palenque de San Lorenzo, holds a significant place in history. This Maroon settlement is considered one of the first free African communities in the Americas, a beacon of hope that shone brightly amidst the darkness of the era. It stands as a testament to the strength and determination of those who dared to dream of freedom, predating similar communities in other parts of the region. Yanga's story resonates beyond the borders of Mexico. It echoes across the globe, serving as a powerful reminder of the human capacity to resist oppression and fight for freedom. His tale of bravery and resilience embodies the enduring spirit of those who refuse to be silenced, who dare to rise against tyranny and oppression. Yanga's legacy is not confined to the past. It lives on, a vibrant thread in the tapestry of human history. It breathes life into the stories of those who continue to fight for freedom and equality, inspiring future generations with its timeless message of resistance and hope. Yanga's story is a testament to the human spirit's resilience and the unyielding fight for freedom. His legacy lives on, reminding us all of the power of resistance and the value of liberty.